I had just moved into a small apartment to attend high school. I was 16 at the time. Almost immediately after settling in, I began experiencing sleep paralysis. What made it even stranger was that just weeks before, my friend and I had been discussing sleep paralysis, what it was and what happened to the body during it. I had never experienced it before and hoped I never would. But about a week after moving into my attic apartment in a single-family home, I had my first episode. I had gone to bed, lying on my side with my face toward the wall. I was just about to drift off when I felt the distinct sensation of someone sitting down on the bed behind me. The mattress sank under their weight. Instinctively, I tried to turn around, only to realize that I couldn't move. I was completely paralyzed. Panic surged through me. I was wide awake, fully aware of where I was, yet unable to move a single muscle. My body felt impossibly heavy, as if I were sinking into the mattress. My friend had once mentioned that if you ever experience sleep paralysis, you should try to curse in your mind or focus all your energy on moving just one small part of your body, like a pinky finger. If you manage to do that, you might be able to break free. Desperately, I focused on moving my pinky. It took what felt like an eternity, but finally, just before I regained control of my body, I heard a noise, a soft, eerie rustling sound like a rope being dragged across the floor. A second later, there was a dull thud, as if something heavy had struck the ground. I finally managed to turn over. There was no one there. The room was pitch dark and freezing cold. My heart was racing. I grabbed my phone and called my friend, needing someone to talk to, even though I felt guilty for waking her up so late. Thankfully, she answered, and after some time I calmed down enough to fall back asleep. The next day, a strange feeling lingered in my apartment, like I wasn't alone. It wasn't exactly threatening, but it was deeply unsettling. I tried to ignore it and focus on school, hoping the experience was just a one-time thing. But a few days later, it happened again. And this time, it was much, much worse. I woke up in the middle of the night, completely paralyzed. But unlike before, I was able to open my eyes. I was lying on my back, completely still, feeling as if my body had fused with the mattress. Then, a terrible pressure built in my chest. I couldn't breathe. It was as if something was pressing down on me, suffocating me. And then I felt it. Something touched my leg. A cold, skeletal hand gripped my ankle and began moving slowly up my calf, then my thigh. My vision blurred with terror. And that's when I saw it, a grotesque humanoid creature crawling over me on all fours. Its body was emaciated, almost skeletal, but its head was that of a fully grown adult. Deep, empty black sockets replaced its eyes, and its mouth hung open, a gaping maw of dried, dark red flesh. It hovered over me, its hands pressing down on my arms, pinning me in place. I wanted to scream, to thrash, to do anything, but the only sound that escaped me was a weak, muffled whimper. I was trapped. And then, suddenly, "Get away!" A voice, sharp and commanding, rang out from beside my bed. Creature jerked back, as if startled. I felt its grip on me loosen, then it recoiled, sliding down my body before retreating completely. I gasped for breath, my lungs finally free, and snapped my head to the side. Standing by my bed was a tall woman dressed in a gray gown. Her hair was pulled up into a tight bun, and her face was pale, almost sickly yellow. Her dark eyes locked onto mine for just a second, before she vanished into the darkness. I lay there, frozen, drenched in sweat, my heart hammering in my chest. I couldn't move. I couldn't think. I simply curled into the fetal position, pulling the blanket over my head, and waited for morning. I never slept in that apartment again. The very next day, I packed my things and left, taking the first bus home. I commuted to school from my parents' house for a while before finding a new place to live. I had to continue paying rent for 3 more months due to the lease agreement, but I didn't care. Nothing could have made me stay there another night. But what haunted me the most wasn't the creature, it was the woman. She had appeared out of nowhere, as if to protect me. Who was she? And what would have happened if she hadn't come? Years later, while attending college, I became friends with a girl who had grown up near my old apartment. One day, I told her about my sleep paralysis episodes and about the woman in gray. She froze. "Wait," she said. "Was it in that old house near the main road?" I nodded. Her face darkened. "I've heard stories about that place. A mother and daughter used to live there in the early 1950s. One day, the mother found her daughter dead in bed. A heart attack, they think. She was really young. And later, someone hanged themselves in the basement. A chill ran down my spine. My friend went on. She told me that when she used to walk her dog past that house, she would sometimes see something or someone watching from the upstairs window. A tall woman, dressed in gray. Her dark eyes locked onto the road, gazing out with an intense, unwavering stare."
That's it for tonight's tale. But don't worry, there's always more where that came from. Be sure to stay tuned for even more nerve-thrilling horror stories every single week. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and join us here at the Hollow Horror. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Until then, stay safe. Or stay scared. See you next time.